In a quiet fishing village by the sea lived a young man named Arvind. He was known for his quick wit and clever ideas, but also for his habit of avoiding hard work whenever possible. His family owned several fishing boats, yet Arvind preferred to sit by the shore, giving instructions rather than pulling the heavy nets himself. The elders often shook their heads, saying he would never achieve anything if he kept living this way. Arvind didn't mind. As long as the boats came back with fish, he thought there was no reason to tire himself out. One summer, a fierce storm swept across the coast, damaging most of the boats and injuring his father. With no one else to lead the work, Arvind had to take full responsibility for the family's livelihood. At first, he tried to carry on as before, but without the extra hands, the catches grew smaller and smaller, and the family began to worry about how they would survive. One morning, as Arvind mended a torn net on the shore, he overheard some fishermen talking excitedly. A royal messenger had arrived in the nearby town, announcing a grand challenge at the governor's estate. The winner would receive enough gold to rebuild an entire fleet of boats. Arvind's heart raced. This could be the answer to his family's troubles. Without much thought, he decided to join, despite knowing many strong and experienced men from across the region would compete. When word spread through the village, some laughed, saying Arvind was too lazy to win anything that required real effort. But his father, though doubtful, hoped this might spark a change in him. Arvind packed a small bag and set out the next morning, determined to try. After 2 days of travel along dusty coastal roads, he reached the bustling town where the challenge would take place. The air buzzed with excitement as competitors gathered in the main square. The governor welcomed the gathered crowd and explained the first challenge. Each competitor would enter the dense forest at the edge of town. Somewhere inside was a hidden flag, and the first 3 to bring it back would move on to the final round. The forest was thick with twisting paths and sudden dead ends. At the signal, most men charged ahead, running as fast as they could. Arvind didn't rush. Instead, he scanned the trees and noticed faint markings carved into certain trunks. They seemed to form a pattern. Trusting his instinct, he followed the markings rather than the crowd. Along the way, he paused to listen for the faint sound of water. Remembering the governor's words about thinking as well as acting, he guessed the flag might be near the forest stream where the ground was open. His hunch proved right. Tied to a low branch near the water was the bright red flag. Grabbing it, he made his way out, reaching the square in 3rd place. For the final challenge, the governor led the 3 remaining contestants to a deep ravine just outside the town. A narrow gap stretched before them, too wide to jump, but close enough that a bridge could be built. Each man was given the same pile of materials: short wooden planks, a bit of rope, and a few iron nails. The task was simple: build a crossing sturdy enough to walk over and be the first to reach the other side. At the signal, the first man tried to lash the planks together into one long beam, but it sagged under its own weight. The second man began stacking the planks in a shaky arrangement, hoping to balance them like stepping stones. Arvind, however, stopped to study the ravine walls. He noticed several sturdy rocks forming a natural base just below the edge. Using these as support points, he created a short but solid bridge with fewer planks, securing them tightly with rope. It wasn't pretty, but it was strong enough to hold his weight. As Arvind tested his bridge, the wood creaked but held firm. Without hesitation, he stepped onto it, moving quickly but carefully toward the other side. The crowd held its breath, expecting the planks to give way at any moment. Yet with each step, his balance and focus kept him steady. Behind him, the first man's long beam cracked in the middle, forcing him to retreat, while the second man's stacked planks collapsed before he even stepped on them. Arvind reached the far side and turned to see the others still struggling. He gave one final tug on the rope to secure the bridge for the next person before raising his hand to signal completion. The governor's officials confirmed his victory, and the crowd erupted in cheers. Arvind felt an unfamiliar but satisfying pride. For once, his clever thinking had been matched by decisive action, and the combination had brought him success where pure strength had failed. The governor approached Arvind with a warm smile and said, "You've shown that skill and thought are worth more than raw power. This is what true leadership looks like." Those words stayed with Arvind as he made the journey back to his village. When he arrived, the people gathered around, eager to hear how he had won. They were surprised by his determination and the way he had worked alongside his own abilities instead of avoiding the hard parts. Without wasting a day, Arvind used his prize to repair the damaged boats and equip the fishing crews with better tools. He worked on the shore every morning, guiding and helping with the catches. Over time, the village became known for both its strong fleet and its cooperative spirit. Whenever someone complained about a task being too difficult, Arvind would say, "If you don't challenge yourself, life will challenge you in harsher ways." And they knew he spoke from experience. So, what about you? Are you letting laziness and doubt decide your future, or will you take the first step toward the life you deserve? Start today. Choose one thing you've been avoiding and face it head on. Your future self will thank you. And if this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the journey begins with a single decision. Make yours now.